On this holy day of Ash Wednesday, we'll be visiting the past to speak with some of the greatest saints that came out of the Green Isles. So St. Patrick, what happened to you in the past that led you to become the great person that you are today?
So a couple years ago, I actually was sold into slavery. I spent several years as a slave in Ireland. And there I became really devout to my faith. I was already a Christian prior to that. But when I was a slave, I really felt closer to God. I really felt I had to turn somewhere, so I turned to God, and it made me a stronger Catholic than I am today.
What is your biggest accomplishment in helping the church?
So the biggest accomplishment for me is probably converting most of the Irish people to Catholicism. As you now know, looking around, you see that most people here in Ireland are Catholic. And so I'd say that for me, that really kind of warms my heart because it's something I was able to do and able to help.
What methods did you use to help convert the whole northern half of Ireland?
So for me, I was very skilled in speaking and convincing people before I started with the conversions. But after that, I kind of became someone who was a lot like the Irish people, a lot like them, because I started off a slave, so I didn't have a lot of money, I didn't have a lot to work with, but I was strong in my faith, and so that kind of passion was similar to the Irish people, and that allowed me to connect with them and spread my religion to them.
After you served your slavery in Ireland and were freed, you did go back there and become bishop, correct?
Oh yes, of course.
How did you feel when you were bishop in Ireland?
Well, I was very proud at first because that's a long way to go from being a slave to become bishop. But I also felt that there was a real duty for me to do something right with this opportunity that I was blessed with by God, and I felt I needed to change something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will welcome St. Columbanus. So, how did you help evangelize the northern coast of France and Switzerland?
Well, I helped renew spiritual life and discipline in areas where Christian beliefs and practice was waning. So that basically means that there were some areas in France and Switzerland which people weren't really following the rules of Christianity or not practicing it enough. So I helped. I went there and I tried to bring back Catholic influence.
Where it says you were a frequent traveler, is this true?
Yeah, I would take my boat, go wherever the wind takes me. I visited places such as Switzerland, France, if you knew that. A small town named Bobbio in Italy, near Genoa. You might have heard of that. Yeah, I would spread the word of God. I would meet new people, experience their lives, and it was very eye-opening and interesting for me. And I adore traveling.
As a leader of the practice of frequent penance, how do you feel it affected the early church?
Well, early penance was actually limited to only the Irish monks. So later, over time, well, it became more universal so that anyone can practice frequent penance.
Next, we will speak with the monk who lives in an Irish monastery. Could you give us an in-depth view of what it feels like to live in one of those monasteries?
Being a monk is a very difficult thing to accomplish, but we have to sleep on cold flagstones, pray in icy water, eat minimal amounts of food. It's just anything we can do to deny the body comfort is what we strive for the Lord of God.
What is your favorite part about the height of Irish monk influence on Christian culture?
I'd have to say my favorite part was the fact that the Irish monastery became the most important center for learning in all of Europe. The scriptura and the libraries allow for everybody to become educated, which eventually improves society as a whole.
So your monastery doesn't follow the rule of St. Benedict. What is it inspired by?
It is inspired by the austere Eastern monastic tradition. Some get it confused with the Benedictine rule.
Today we will be interviewing a St. Columba expert. Hello, Professor Andrews.
Hello.
So, who is St. Columba to you?
St. Columba, based on my studies, he is a man that came from royal lineage. He came from the O'Donnells and the O'Neills, and he was a very religious monk ever since a young age.
What does Columba mean?
Columba means love in Latin.
Did Columba create any monasteries?
He created monasteries in Dunro and Derby.
Where did Columba's evangelization journey begin and where did it end?
Based on historical documents, it began in northern Britain, but a problem occurred between him and King Dermot. Pretty much the problem was St. Columba wanted to give sanctuary to a river. King Dermot didn't think that was fair, so a war started. Obviously, St. Columba's side, where the O'Donnells and the O'Neills, they were fighting for St. Columba, while King Dermot, he had his own forces. St. Columba was praying for the O'Neills and the O'Donnells, while King Dermot had St. Finian, and that was also part of the problem. King Dermot believed that a lot of what St. Columba said was copied out of St. Finian's Vulgate. So St. Finian was praying for King Dermot's forces, and at the end, St. Columba won. But people don't know what happened after that. There's two theories. One was that St. Columba got excommunicated. The second theory was that the king got excommunicated instead, but St. Columba gave him penance and let him come back. But either way, he ended up in Scotland, where he spread his evangelization to the Picts, another famous important Celtic clan.